Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause I'd start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Go on, yo, hit that thumbs up as you're rolling in here. Come on, let's get it started.
Big brain, come along with me. will see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the light and share the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Helen's here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Spreading truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the light and share the vibe. Crush those pearls, let's take the ride. Come in here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
Better one with that.
The pearls were bound together through the storm and darkest weather.
Got
We
this,
search high,
Panda.
we search low,
We're gonna be praying for you,
together
baby.
everywhere we go.
We got you.
Justin's here and he's going live with the best fans by my side. We're a family, we hold strong. Together we can right the wrong. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community.
Jenna, what? Thank you so much. I love you. How you doing, darling?
Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care. We clutch them pearls, we shine like stars. Searching wide, spreading love afar. Every stream, every heartfelt plea. We are one in this community. In the night or in the day, girls will light and lead the way. Justin's heart and your support. Together we will hold the fort. Daily grind, but we're not stopping. Pearls around the world just popping. With each view and every share, we send hope and show we care.
Thank you, Panda.
Click play and come along with me. Together with the truth you see. Got our pearls and our laughter too. The search for facts is always new. In this place we keep it real. Classy vibes and joyful zeal. Join the journey, it's just begun. We shine brighter than the sun. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comments here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. Defending truth is what we do. So hit subscribe and join the crew. With every search we pave the way. Together we will save the day. With every laugh we lift our hearts. In the search we all take part. Thank you all for standing strong. Together we belong. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comment here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear. Hit the like and share the vibe. Clutch those pearls, let's take the ride. Comment here and spread the cheer. Members make the truth so clear.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen? Amen.
Well, hello, 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 my beautiful pearls. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very, very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is April 7th, 2025. It is currently 6:01 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hello. Good to see you all, my beautiful friends and pearls. Thank you so much. YouTube has been really dead today. I don't know what it is. It's usually like dead on a Friday night. It's usually more dead on a Friday night or a Monday. It is. It's today. Today is Monday. Today is Monday, isn't it? Yes, today is Monday. Well, that probably explains it then. Thank you, Angel Wings. Good to see you all. We got a lot to talk about in this live. Hey, Ginger Snap, Sharon, Mary, Sharon, Bunkers, Angel Wings, Lisa, Moss, Heather, Karen, I see you, Lisa, Leslie, Peggy, Trishy, Heather, GD, DD, Snow Feathers, hello, Robin, Pale Rider, good to see you. Baby Kisses, Mary, hello, 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 Ashley, Leslie, Rhonda, Susan, Heather, because I was watching the tornado. Of course, we'll sing it for you, Stephanie. Of course, Muscles and Mascara. Good to see you, love. Mary, Jana, Tina. Hello, everyone. CC, AMC. Good to see you all. Shadows, Robin, Stephanie. Bonjour, Leslie, Heather. Yes, so we are covering the Emily Pike case today. And oh, of course, Stephanie, I'm sorry you've been going through those storms. It's been really, really bad when those storms. And guys, we really need to keep prayers. I mean, it's just now getting to be tornado season, you know what I mean? And so it's one of those things. So we just need to keep all the prayers going. So yeah. Yeah, so happy belated birthday, Stephanie. Good to see you, my dear. Um, so we are talking about Emily Pike, guys. This is one of those cases. I get emotional thinking about this case. I really do. A young girl who was in a home to begin with and had been kind of in and out her whole life. And there she left one night and was later found in a garbage bag without dismembered and without her hands. Yeah, it's that wasn't she found close to her mother's house. She was found 100 miles away. We're going to get into it. Mama Dukes, thank you so much, my dear, for renewing your membership. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Hope you are well. Thank you so much, my love. And Linda, thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. Really do appreciate you. Welcome, Linda. And we got Jana. Hey, Jana. Welcome to the Pearl family. May I say, pearls look amazing on you. And we got Panda Bear. Guys, please keep Panda Bear in the she goes tomorrow and has some procedure done. So wish her the best. Keep her in your prayers. Also, there is a woman on here. Her name is Christine 5555. She was active in the Summer Wells case, and she had breast cancer a while back. And I don't know, the other day I hadn't, looked at her profile or anything in a long time. And something was just like kind of on my heart. And I just looked, and she had happened to be in the hospital. And allegedly she's got some, Elisa was telling me last night in a chat room. And apparently she's got some really bad news. She's a mother and a wife. And her and I, we've had disagreements in the past. But nonetheless, I have really been praying for her. And, that stuff doesn't matter. When all, it's been a long time ago anyways. But please keep her in your prayers. It's really, really bad. So I hate that because she has a light around her, if you will. And I really am just praying for her. I hate cancer. I hate it with everything in me. I hate cancer. So, please keep her in your prayers. I when Elisa told me last night in the chat, and I was just dumbfounded. She's like, "You didn't see what she posted?" And I said, "No, I haven't. I just went there, I think like maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and I left a comment. So I just hope she's and her family's okay." Um, Cancer is one of those things that affects all of our lives in one way or another. If, God forbid, we're not diagnosed with cancer, one of our loved ones will be. And just keep her and your family in your prayers. So I thought so too, Jamie. I thought so too. So there's that. So Panda, we are keeping you in our prayers as well. Thank you so much, my dear. We got you for sure. Muscles, that is extremely. Thank you, my beautiful friend. I really do appreciate you and your support very, very much. She is a rock star. She's a rock star. So thank you so much, Muscles. Keep on keeping on, girl. Muscles is a straight shooter and as good as they come. As good as they come. So thank you so much, Muscles. Really do appreciate you, honey. Very, very much. Love you, friend. And Jessica, thank you so much. Really do appreciate you. You're an OG. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. Really do appreciate you. Cece, I didn't. Hopefully, there's a little bit of a scheduling issue with one of the doctors. So hopefully I'll know more tomorrow. They didn't let me know today. So hopefully I'll know more tomorrow. But thank you so much, Jessica. You are definitely an OG. And I really do appreciate you, my friend. All right. So talking about where'd it go? We got a lot to talk about here, guys. Okay. So Emily Pike, we're covering today. It's a very tragic, it's very unsettling case that has not only rocked the Native American community, but Arizona and frankly all over the United States and the world, really. Emily Pike, she was a 14-year-old member of the San Carlos Apache tribe whose life was brutally cut short in probably one of the most shocking crimes in 2025 so far. She was reported missing from a group home in Mesa, Arizona on January 27th, 2025. Despite a history of occasionally leaving the facility to visit family, she would always return within hours. This time, she did not come back. Weeks later, on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025, her dismembered remains were found stuffed in a trash bag on Highway 60 northeast of Globe, Arizona, about 100 miles from where she was last seen at the group home. This discovery, to say the very least, shocked communities and sent just outrage naturally for a 14-year-old to come back or be found rather in trash bags. Emily's mother, Steph, Steff, by the way, she describes her daughter as kind, a very artistic individual who had dreams of attending college. The heartbreak of her loss as has been felt deeply by her family and everyone who knew her. Vigils have been held in Emily's honor with her community calling for justice and demanding more protection of Indigenous women and girls. The San Carlos Apache tribe has even offered a $75,000 reward for information leading to the arrest. I always pronounce it wrong. Is it Gilla or Gilla? I always pronounce it wrong. Always. You guys will correct me. Sheriff's Office, they are assisting the FBI in continuing and currently leading an ongoing homicide investigation. So far, no arrests have been made. Emily's case is not just tragic, but it's not an isolated incident either. There is so many Indigenous women and children, particularly young girls, that suffer every single day and get little to no media coverage. And I think we all need to do a little bit better on that as the media and, you know, YouTubers and social media in general. Oh, thank you, Trishy, for that. I appreciate you. I might have that one. Yep, I got that one. Thank you so much. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of get you caught up on what has been happening in the case recently. They have recently had Emily Pike's send away, if you will, her burial. And we're going to go through that and some of the things the community is doing. Then we are going to dig in much deeper and speculate, if you will, on what kind of person are we looking at to do something like this to a 14-year-old Indigenous girl? Is this someone who knew her? Is this someone that, just randomly picked her up? I do think this is definitely going to be solved. To travel 100 miles with someone's remains, that is definitely a risk. Not only that, they've had to dismember her somewhere as well. So they have had her in multiple locations. We're going to get into who might fit the profile of doing something like this. So before we do that, I do want to go over just some things that has been recently going over in the case, which has been quite a bit, to say the very least. The Native American community has really stepped up on this one. I mean, they are not taking no for an answer. They are frankly tired of this happening to the women in the community, and you can't blame them.
I'm Joshua.
You know how the media is. If you don't generally look like someone like me, blonde hair, fair skin, light colored eyes, unfortunately, you don't get the same immediate attention. Every soul, no matter what color, what religion, any of that, deserves the same, and that is justice. That is, every single life has value. So, without further ado, let's get started on this.
Cianto here in Phoenix, and we spoke with a Globe woman and San Carlos Apache tribe member who is trying to keep the name of 14-year-old Emily Pike alive and in the news, and she's taking to truck stops to try and spread awareness about her case. Jolene Shorty and her husband are on a mission.
So they've been open to the information that we're trying to give them for Miss Emily.
Information they hope could make a break in the case.
And the truckers there, they didn't know what happened. They never heard of this.
Ever since 14-year-old Emily Pike's dismembered body was found on Valentine's Day off Highway 16 near mile marker 277, Native communities in Arizona and all around the country have rallied together to say her name and keep it alive. That's why Shorty is taking to truck stops across the valley, handing out these flyers made by Pike's aunt, hoping any tip could lead to an arrest.
So I feel like the hero is a trucker. I feel like it's a driver, because that road between Globe and Sholo is mainly where a lot of people just drive.
So this woman right here, she's saying that she feels like this could be a trucker because, again, this is someone who knows the area, right? It's definitely someone who knows the area, but it is a high risk to dismember someone and then put them 100 miles away. But we're going to get into all of that in a little bit, so buckle up. This is a very interesting
Flyer
story.
contains all the relevant information about Emily Pike's case, including where she was last seen in Mesa and where her body is found. It also has the phone numbers to law enforcement. Shorty and her family also sponsoring a billboard going up in Superior, highlighting Pike's case. They're planning more in Miami and Globe. Pike's murder investigation still producing no suspects or persons of interest. With these efforts, Shorty hopes it'll only be a matter of time.
But I feel like us as tribal members, as a nation, our work's not done. The person is still free. We need to get that person back.
Reporting in Phoenix, Josh Viscianto, ABC 15, Arizona.
Now, I have a feeling that they probably have an eye on who they're looking for right now, in my opinion. I think that they probably have a good eye. Perhaps that's just obviously me speculating, but someone who traveled 100 miles, there's got to be some cameras, some data, phone, satellite, some sort of data somewhere that would make you think that where do you dismember someone if you're a truck? That's what I was thinking, Grass Monster. Where do you dismember someone if you're a trucker? It's too big to park and not to be noticed. I don't think it's a trucker personally, in my opinion. I mean, I guess they could be like a local trucker that travels back and forth, but I think they live local, right? I think they are, in my opinion, probably 35 to 50, 55-year-old white male, maybe a loner, but we're going to get into all of that much deeper here in just a little bit. First, I want to show you some of the most recent things related to the case, just to catch y'all up for those of you that...
The investigation into Emily Pike's murder.
The CEO of the group home that cared for the 14-year-old is speaking to the ABC 15 investigators, saying she is confident there will be an arrest.
Emily was killed after she ran away from the Mesa home earlier this year. Here's investigator Melissa Blasius.
Elizabeth Morales is the CEO of Sacred Journey Incorporated, and she tells me she's had a close relationship with many of the kids in her foster group home.
I mean, most, and ICU's right, reminds me of someone like Long Island serial killer. A lot of times, I mean, I don't think whoever did this, I don't think this is their first rodeo. I definitely don't think this is their first rodeo at all. So is this someone who lives alone, or is this someone who has a family and maybe his family was out of town at the time? Maybe he was out of town at the time. We'll see.
Even well into their adulthoods. Morales did not want to go on camera yet, in part because of the backlash on social media.
Oh. Guys, I think I have it pulled up somewhere. What was the other girl who was found or was missing from that home that Emily Pike was? She has been located. She has been located, by the way. So I wanted to let you guys know that she has been Veronica something. I can't remember her last name. They have solid cases with phone data. She has been found. Thank God. She is alive. Yes.
Against her company about Emily's disappearance. As we've reported, group homes must report every child who leaves without permission as a runaway, and Emily had been reported as missing 3 times before, just to be found within hours. She left for a 4th time. That was in January. She never returned. Morales telling me this about the kind of group home she runs. Quote, "We go above and beyond. We're raising children, and not just housing children. We're parenting children. I'm going to really take the time and energy to make sure that child is wrapped in services. That's a care team that can include therapists, doctors, relatives, and mentors." Emily's disappearance and murder has put group homes in Arizona under the microscope. The Department of Child Safety has a licensing inquiry into Sacred Journey, but DCS also says that it does not believe any action taken or not taken by the group home played a role in Emily's death. Morales urges social media posters targeting her company to stop, saying, quote, "The kids need to sleep at night. The staff needs to feel safe coming to work." Morales is watching the search continue in Gila County, where Emily's partial remains were found in February, and says this, quote, "I'm confident this case is not going to go cold, and I am confident they will find who did this." There is a $75,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in Emily Pike's murder. If you have any information, contact the Gila County Sheriff's Office. I'm Senior Investigator Melissa Blasius, ABC 15, Arizona.
Sorry, I kicked myself off rather than the program there. Okay, so now one of the things that I find interesting, that is correct, Maurice, there has been 30 runaways from there. There was Emily and Veronica missing. Veronica has been recently found. She is okay. Bubbly Beth says, in my opinion, with so many girls going missing from that house, it may be someone linked to that house, staff, gardener, Uber, construction worker, teacher, etc., or someone in the area. Chocolate Gravy says, and they took her 100 miles to look like a truck driver. Interesting. Okay. It is. It's a very, very sad case. Okay. One thing that I do find interesting, though, that according to some reports, there was an anonymous voicemail received on February 2nd, 2025 by the group home where Emily Pike resided. The message claimed that Emily was with her mother on the San Carlos Apache tribal land. However, the voicemail was not retrieved until February 7th. Upon investigation, Emily's mother confirmed she had not seen or heard from Emily and expressed concern over her disappearance. Additionally, prior to Emily's disappearance on January 27th, 2025, there were no reports of any unusual or strange calls. The group's home manager reported that Emily had left through her bedroom window that evening, and this was not the first instance for her to leave the facility. So let's presume that is one of the things that really gets me, right? If this strange call has anything at all to do with Emily, first of all, if this person is the unaliver or something to do with something nefarious happening to Emily, this indicates that, again, if it does, not saying that it does, but if it does, it would indicate that this person knows that she was at a group home and knows that Emily's mother is still alive and where Emily's mother lives. Right? So that is concerning. That's very concerning if that has anything to do with it. I'm sure, FBI and law enforcement has chased down that lead. However, they have not commented on this, to the best of my knowledge, at all. I feel like she was trying to get to her mother. Yeah, I don't know why exactly, what was going on with Emily at home, if she just was, rebellious or something more was going on at the home, but something clearly had been going on and off at the home. Yes, guys, please hit that thumbs up. Would greatly appreciate it. Consider sharing this out on your social media platforms. Long Island person contacted families. Very true. Very true, Maxine. That is a very good point. Long Island serial unaliver did contact the families because they like, many of them like to, tease and taunt and, want to see them suffer. Just to be quite honest with you, they get off on this sick stuff. Okay.
Away from where 14-year-old Emily Pike's body was found here off Highway 60 near mile marker 277, a group of volunteers is taking to the terrain to try and bring closure to the family.
Just keep an eye on those also.
It's an effort to find one of their own.
It's horrific. Like what happened?
Trigger warning.
Just to hear about it. Like we have girls,
My thought is because of the wildlife and vegetation that's out here.
These volunteers taking time out of their own day to find some sort of closure for Emily Pike's family and perhaps for themselves.
Just something personal, something that's on my heart that I've got to do it.
The Gila County Sheriff's Office tells us there's still an active investigation into Pike's murder after the teen ran away from her Mesa group home, but they don't have any suspects or persons of interest. And while Pike was buried over the weekend on the San Carlos Apache Reservation, there are certain parts of her body that are still missing.
Overall, it's just to help with the sense of closure and to move forward with this.
Tuesday's search happening very close to where authorities found Pike's body. A memorial sits in its place now. Midway through the search, Gila County Sheriff's officials and county prosecutors showed up, all part of what they describe as a routine survey of the scene. We asked if Pike's additional remains could still be out here.
We don't believe there are at this point, given the exhaustive search that we have done using cadaver dogs as well as the searchers that I'd mentioned. But that's not to say that something can't be found.
For these volunteers, it's reason enough to keep searching.
This is just our way of, showing that we're going to be here no matter what.
Now, volunteers did find some bones in the search area, but a Gila County Sheriff's detective did confirm with us that those belong to animals. Reporting near Globe.
Okay, so the locals are trying to find the rest of Emily. Remember, her hands have not been recovered. I just want to give you guys trigger warning, because whenever Emily was found, she was found dismembered, and her face had a lot of trauma to her face as well. Hey Sheila, good to see you, honey. Thank you so much for joining. I want to show you how her send-off went. This was her send-off here. Exactly, Beth.
A niece, a cousin, and a friend. She's not just family to the Pikes and the Dawsons now. She's a family to everybody.
This is, it's very sad.
Today we lay her to rest. Today we're going to tell her story. Today we let the world know who she was.
Look how they did her casket. They really done it up for. It could be Carol. I mean, it could be. I mean, who would do that to a 14-year-old? Like, that is insane to do something like that.
Today, her voice will be heard. Today, we will say her name. Today, I want you to say her.
There's a video of them painting this. They worked on this day and night to paint this. Just beautiful.
Her name. What's her name? What do we want?
So there's that. Okay. Let me show you this was 5 hours. I think this was 5 hours ago. Right here.
Jolene Shorty and her husband are on a mission.
So they've been open to the information that we're trying to give them for Miss Emily.
Information they hope could make a break in the case.
And the truckers there, they didn't know what happened. They never heard of this.
Ever since 14-year-old Emily Pike's dismembered body was found on Valentine's Day off Highway 60 near mile marker 277, Native communities in Arizona and all around the country have rallied together to say her name and keep it alive. That's why Shorty is taking to truck stops across the valley, handing out these flyers made by Pike's aunt, hoping any tip could lead to an arrest.
I feel like the hero is a trucker. I feel like it's a driver, because that road between Globe and Sholo is mainly where a lot of people just drive.
The flyer contains all the relevant information about Emily Pike's case, including where she was last seen in Mesa and where her body is found. It also has the phone numbers to law enforcement. Shorty and her family also sponsoring a billboard going up in Superior, highlighting Pike's case. They're planning more in Miami and Globe. Pike's murder investigation still producing no suspects or persons of interest. With these efforts, Shorty hopes it'll only be a matter of time.
But I feel like us as tribal members, as a nation, our work's not done. The person is still free. We need to get that person back.
Reporting in Phoenix, Josh Fistianto, ABC 15, Arizona.
Okay. Now, what kind of person does this? Well, other than a sick mother trucker, let's I want to show you here here is Dr. of course Chris McDonough from the interview room, and of course Dr. Gary Mercado and Dr. Ann Burgess. They are going to tell us what kind of person, in their professional opinion, would do something like this. So credit goes to our friend and yours, Chris McDonough from the interview room. Link will be provided in the description. This is very interesting with Chris. Let's see, McDonough. There we go. All right. Definitely a repeat offender, I would say. I can't imagine. I mean, to be honest, you the first time a person does something like this, they don't normally dismember the first time, right? I wonder if they have a computer at the house. Maybe she met someone online and they lured her to go out and leave. So I have read in some places that allegedly she was supposed to go meet a young man, boy, if you will, not, I don't think too much older than her, but I don't know if that ever took place or anything. Yes, and I've got The New Evil, by the way. It's a very good book. Very good book. Could be a hunter too. I have drove that back way. My turquoise jewelry is from there, and I have dribbled. Oh, really? Interesting. You know, when I see Emily, I think of, you know, like someone who is so young, but they've been through so much that it's like they've almost lived 80 years, you know, with the so much that they have been through. And that's the way I feel with this. She's definitely an old soul, but just when I see her, I just feel that. And it just breaks my heart. Thank you so much, Holly. Really do appreciate your love. Thank you so much. Very kind. Maybe she thought she was. I've wondered that, JD. Did she think she was talking to someone and it wasn't? Was it someone else?
14, very young, and looks her age when you see photos of her. And it looks like she was running away from a group home, which is not necessarily unusual. We need to talk more about that, what the motive was there. But she certainly encounters a terrible situation. And I look forward to talking about that. I read one place where she was supposed to be meeting a boy that...
Well, okay, here we go. She's getting ready to say it, I bet. Chocolate Gravy, they have not found her hands anywhere. And so this could be something that could be what we call, like a controlling aspect. He could, to me, this person wanted police authorities to find her, right? He wouldn't have put her out just in a bag in a field, not a field, well, the desert. He wouldn't have done that. He wanted this. He wanted her to be found. He wanted to inflict pain on not only her, but those who love her, those who care for her. It's a sick, twisted game for them. They are demented, Moss. They are demented. But they can also sometimes they will keep certain things, even body parts. Some sick, twisted people will, as a memorabilia, if you will. They could have, it could be someone who, like Rach just said, didn't like, Native Americans, maybe had something against the family.
that she had met before. And the word boy was used.
This is what I was talking about here.
To talking about that. I read one place where she was supposed
Right
to be meeting a boy that she had met before, and the word boy was used, so it wasn't an adult. If
Right.
that's true.
And that's what I was hearing as well, that it was a younger man, if you will, like around her age, that she was supposed to be meeting. But I don't know, it hasn't, that I'm aware of at least, it hasn't really been cleared on, did she end up meeting this guy? Does he know more? Oh, Kelsey, thank you, honey. Appreciate you. Don't even. Kelsey, honey, people will, this is just what it is. People talk about people, you know, when they see you shining or whatever, they just want to fight or do whatever. Let them have it. I love you,
somebody
Kelsey.
that played a guitar. That was just in one of the write-ups.
They talk about stuff we don't even-
This is really, really important in terms of when kids are troubled. It also said she had mental health issues. We need to get into that.
Perhaps,
That's just putting them in a group home isn't the best way to handle a mental health issue. And it looks like she had visited her mother earlier, had run away a couple of other times. So all of that's going to be very important to see if we can sift through and find out what type of person, profile, if you will, the type of person that she encountered.
Exactly.
But using our studies from the missing and murdered Native American Indigenous group.
You know, that's the thing, Moss. I don't know if she was found the day the trash bags were, you know, when she was placed there. I don't know if she was found that day or if it was just one of those things that happened to be on Valentine's Day. It seems to be kind of a busy little area, like a camping area there. So you know, it seems like, you know, people. Oh, Kelsey, listen, honey, if they're talking about my makeup, good for them. Tell them I'll teach them how to apply it.
We did the women first, the females first, and we're just ready.
But you know what? Foundation can't cover ugly. Still can't cover ugly. Can't cover an ugly heart.
To run the data on the men. But anyway, so we can use what we learned from the 18 and under group tonight. Talk about that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be an amazing discussion. Dr. Gary, first thoughts.
Well, I think, first of all, I think Ann and I are two people who are unusually suited to discuss this because our work, our research has focused on cases that involve dismemberment, which is a term that we help to define formally. We can talk about that to distinguish it from other offenses like mutilation cases and things like that. And we've studied with Dr. Petreka what it means when people perpetrate that particular offense. And of course, there's the Native people element that is very dear to us. And then, of course, we focus so heavily on the type of offender who would target a child, perhaps in a serial way, and commit these kinds of offenses. What I think is, I'll just throw out there, and of course we're going to get into the details, is that I think that the loneliness and the longing for connectivity in this child, which led to the running away and wanting to go see someone, whoever that was, family, this boy, whatever, was taken advantage of by some type of offender that probably opportunistically picked her up and gave her the false impression that someone cared about her, and then proved that, you know, that was not the case. She reminds me of a phrase that Sherlock Holmes used about a woman who goes missing, where he says that she's a stray chicken in a world of foxes. Well, I think that's exactly what happened. and we're going to have to talk about it. But someone took advantage opportunistically, I think.
Yeah. So,
they say in these homes that they can't, lock them down like a prison, right? It's not a prison, it is a home. But it seems like they need, and I say this respectfully, they need to do more with them running away, because when they run away, their safety is at risk, right? So, like, can't they do, like, I don't know, 24-hour security or something? If she hadn't have got out, she wouldn't be, this wouldn't have happened, at least at this point. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Welcome to the Pearl family. May I say, pearls look amazing on you, darling. Thank you, my love. You're welcome, Stephanie. I said it last time we talked about Emily, and I'll say it again. Unfortunately, I don't think this was his. Yeah, exactly, Witchy. I agree. I 100% agree. Not the first rodeo. If she was talking to someone, I hope they can track that. But so many ways to fake them. Facebook, sadly, young girls fall for even some adults. Absolutely. Right. It's not a prison, right? But you're also responsible for their care, right? And so there's got to be something it's hard when you have teenagers, right? Especially ones that probably are more savvy at the world than probably a lot of adults. Do they do activities at this home? I would say so. Rach, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Welcome back, my love. Really do appreciate you. And welcome, Rach back. In my opinion, someone didn't want her playing the instrument. Think about it. They took her hands. Justin, I installed a 14,000. And they still eloped. Wow, Kathy. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think some of these kids, they're more street smart than a lot of adults. And I get it. It's not a prison. Damn, it's something. And it's not like you can nail the window shut or anything like that. It's not it's not a jail, and B, that would be a fire hazard and dangerous.
So let's approach this from a couple different levels, right? We'll do the high level, maybe a brief victimology, and then we can talk about some of the research that you guys are finding, and in relationship to the adolescent situation, because she is 14 here, and how does that correlate into what the crime scene is going to tell us? I have a little video about how what the area looks like, and then maybe we can kind of get into this thought process of the what ifs in terms of
Chris
how these types of groups, how we all operate from I'll call it from an academic investigative analysis side. I don't know if that's a term, but we'll call it that tonight. But so, on a high level, Ron.
Now, in some of these areas on the tribal lands, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but it can be in some parts kind of like what we call the old wild west, right, where there's not a lot of order, if you will. And if that is the case, then that can be also, a lot of things can be going on there. He still never got caught. Wow.
And these are factual in nature. So these are facts. What we know from the Mesa Police Department on January 27th, 2025.
They don't specify why she was in there, but they just said she was away from her family for a while.
Which was a Monday at approximately, when she was reported at 8:19 in the evening. She was last seen on the 27th about 1900, or excuse me, 1900 at 7 o'clock. There is no gang involvement or relationship connection in relationship to the victim. And then that's the RP. So the report basically says that Mesa PD got a call on the 27th, approximately 2019, to respond to a missing person. Comments indicating a juvie AWOL, which was missing, approximately 30 minutes prior to this call. So it sounds like she left around 7:50 p.m. approximately out of the group home, or at least that's when she was noticed. Now, at that time of year in January in Arizona,
right, they do. Yeah, exactly, Kathy. They do, but I was just curious, they do have their own rules and laws, but do they have the capability of staying on top of all of it? You know what I mean? How long was she missing before she was found? So it was like a week before they even said that she went missing. She was reported missing January 27th, 2025. She was found February 14th, 2025, 100 miles from her last known location. So nearly 3 weeks. Nearly 3 weeks that she was reported missing and found. She was found on Valentine's Day. Kristen believes the hands were kept because the killer's DNA could be under her nails. Very, very possible, Robin. Very, very possible. Yes, she could have been kept somewhere a while. She could have been unalived rather quickly. She could have been dismembered. Sometimes they will, I was just reading a case last night where this son and his girlfriend, they dismembered his parents and put them in a freezer, and then eventually took them out and put them in bags. But nature did its course and animals dug them up. They have tribal police, yeah. So I hope she didn't suffer either. God, I hope she didn't.
It gets dark early, so there's a high probability that she was out in either out of the facility into the street or wherever. The reporting party identified, that she appeared to have gone out of her bedroom window at the group facility home and had not come in. The window screen was pushed out from the inside. and that she had also had a history of running away in the past. She did not indicate, i.e. the RP, the reporting party did not indicate there were any exigent circumstances, and that Emily was reported to be a 14-year-old Native American female, approximately 4'10", 115 pounds, with medium length brown hair. She did not have a cell phone, according to this report. And she was last seen wearing a pink and gray shirt. The RP reported the last time she ran away, she was located at Fitch Park, which this officer went and checked that park, and he did not find her in that area, which is right around the corner from where the group home is, for FYI.
Chris, can I just ask something, because
Yep.
it allows us to immediately take something off the table that, people.
Well, a lot of hands trophy, proof of it, avoidance of law enforcement. It is still creepy, and I don't believe there's a missing bag with just hands. Yeah, I don't think the hands are out there. I think the hands are in. I don't think the hands are close. I'll just say that. Again, it could be that there was DNA under their nails. It could be that it makes it harder to identify. They say that her face had a lot of damage, and that makes me wonder, trigger warning about what I'm about to say, but did this evil person, did he do something with her teeth for dental records, right? It sounded like he kind of wanted to make it as hard on them as possible to identify her. Could it be a sign that Kelsey, I mean, it could be. Oh, really, Kathy? I didn't know that. I'm French and British and a little Irish, but that's me. So late. I've been under the weather, but I want to say thank you. Alicia, honey, good to see you. I'm sorry you've been under the weather. I hope you are feeling better. It's that kind of time of year. Is it dreary where you guys are at right now? It's been dreary and cooler here today. It's kind of weird. The San Carlos, yes, they're 1.8 million acres of reservation. Yeah, it's dreary and cold here. Done with it.
They speculate in all kinds of ways and whatever. So, in other words, there is absolutely no evidence that I'm aware of the potential of abduction from the home. In other words, she willingly went out the window. It appears that she pushed the screen out and went out. In other words, just to put that out there.
Kelsey, you just want to say that, but you want to be like, you don't like me because I'm black. We all have like a little bit. I mean, we all come from North Africa. That's where all humanity comes from, right? You don't like me. Freeze warning tonight where we're at in Illinois. Ooh, just escaped tornadoes. Cold. Eek. Done with it.
The first step of leaving the home is something that's done willingly by this child, based on what we know.
Do we have any? Well, Gary and Chris, the other thing would be, were there any other footprints outside the window? Certainly, we would hope they would do careful in case there was somebody waiting for her. I only mention that because one place said she was going to meet someone.
Yes.
But at any rate, was she the only one set of footprints moving out?
So obviously, you guys know this. We've talked about this. The last people you are with are generally the first, ones that is going to be questioned, right? At least known with. For instance, they are going to go to that home. They are going to ask roommates. They are going to ask staff if, what Emily's mood was. Was she talking about meeting a certain person? Did she say names? She really wanted to allegedly go see her mother, but that never got to happen. Ooh, Sharon.
Away from the window.
I don't have that answer, and I did not see that answer and in any of these reports. So
okay.
Yeah, right now that's in the question mark column.
Right. And weather, do we have a weather report for that night?
I did have it. I don't, I'm going to look it up again. But it was.
To be clear, Chris, what I'm getting at is, even if the child is lured, if there's some sort of meeting that's used to make her leave, she willingly goes out the window herself.
Yes, that's what all indications
and
are.
I think that's very important. To get that out of the way, because there's going to be all kinds of speculation about people knowing she was there, busting the window open, taking her out, the whole thing. I think that's got to be off the table. But the possibility of a preconceived, meeting, a prearranged meeting, is a possibility. But
there also seems to be just one person that gives information to the police, another quote friend, that. So that at least there was one person that had a little bit of knowledge of her from the victimology standpoint, which is kind of interesting. If she had been had left the house several times, you would hope that they had a little better understanding of her.
Yeah, and mom reported that she was not notified until about 7 days after her disappearance that she was no longer in the.
Now, let me tell you something about that. That is a colossal failure, either on the group home's part or law enforcement. When did the home say? When did they report her missing? Was it a week later they called in and said, hey, we have a girl that's not here. She hasn't been here for a week. Or did they immediately call police and police not notify? Oh, goodness, Michelle. 8:30 a.m. that night, I think. Okay, let me find this. Okay, I'll tell you.
7 days?
7 days, approximately.
I didn't know. Okay.
Yes, and so that causes me, because there were some reports that she was back up on the reservation, but mom is saying, no, I didn't even know she was gone, which is for an investigative analysis aspect.
I just found out for sure. So it was not the group home. According to the reports, oh wait, sorry, 1 second. On January 27, 2025, which is the night she went out the window, at approximately 8:19 p.m., the manager of the group home where 14-year-old Emily Pike resides contacted the Mesa Police Department to report her missing. The manager informed the police that Emily had left the residence through her bedroom window about 30 minutes prior to call. Man, oh man, there's going to be hell to pay with the Mesa Police Department, in my opinion, with the community. It was a week. It was 7 days. Now that is insanity. That's insanity. Because technically, police could have been 30 minutes behind this girl. Boy, that infuriates me. They could have been 30 minutes behind her. She's walking. No, Roller Girl. The group home reported her missing 30 minutes after she was discovered. She left. She left, and they said she had been gone about 30 minutes. They called immediately. Law enforcement did not do anything. Did not contact the mother for a week. That is unforgivable. Yes. Unforgivable. Yep, she was most likely alive for a while because lack of decomp was found February 14th. This is terrible. Oh my God.
Right? Obviously, that's a plus because now we have a time she disappeared and a time she was recovered, which was February 14th, 2025.
FBI is
off
helping.
of Highway 60, which is approximately 80 to 90 miles thereabouts from the.
I mean, 30 minutes. She's normally the type of kid that would go to a park or whatever, right? She's that type of kid. She'll go to a park with some of the other kids or whatever. But that just shows you, in my opinion, how failed the indigenous people of this country are failed. They're failed. She did not have a cell phone. That is unforgivable.
Group home. So that kind of indicates maybe, doing the victim continuum, that she's a high risk, potentially exposed out onto the street.
Right. I don't know. Okay, guys. So remember that call went in. What was it? About a week after. What was that? Let's go back to that for a second. That call, that strange call that came in. Where was that? There was an anonymous voicemail received on February 2nd by the group home where Emily Pike resided. The message claimed that Emily was with her mother on the San Carlos Apache tribal land. However, the voicemail was not received until February 7th. All right. 27th. Let's go back here. Let's see how many days this is, because this was going to give us a good idea of something I'm about to tell you. January 27th, that was a Monday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, wait. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 7. On February 2nd is when that call came in. Now think about this. 6 days. 6 days. If that call is related, then that means it's very likely she could have been alive or deceased at that point, right? If this call, but they didn't get it until February 7th, even though it was called in the 3rd. Right? Or the 2nd. It's called in the 2nd. So we're looking at 7 days here after she goes missing. Someone calls this and says they called the home. They say she's with her mom on the Apache reservation. Was she alive or deceased then? That's the question. Don't know, JD. She could have told them that the group home would be looking for. Yes, absolutely, Pale Rider. Absolutely. That's really concerning, right? And so they don't, the group home doesn't get the message, even though they call February 2nd, they don't get the message until February 7th. And after February 7th, a week later to the day, February 14th, Valentine's Day, that is when she is discovered dead. I don't know if, I'm sure they can trace the call. Absolutely.
At that time. So if she didn't make it home.
She's a basically invisible human being, Chris.
Right.
I mean, someone who was trying to find a victim that was not going to be missed for a little while could not have done a better job if he had set out to do it on purpose. If this was somebody opportunistically picked up, that's deeply disturbing too. But
yeah, but I even think with the burner phone, they'll be able to track it. They'll be able to track where this phone was bought, how the minutes were paid for, where the location of the phone pinged. So even burner phones can tell you a lot of information. So did anyone out of the ordinary call the mother? No. Not that anyone's aware
also
of.
has to keep on the table the possibility that somebody saw this as a pool from which to draw a victim that would be essentially invisible. Are the other people in the group home also indigenous, or is this just happens to be the background of this particular individual?
I don't have the answer to that one. I don't have the answer.
And don't you think oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, you're all right. Go, you, Gary. Go.
I was just saying, and don't you think the invisibility of the child is a critical aspect of the victimology?
Right, and what you're saying is nobody notices her, and because the group home is not isolated, it's
right in town.
Other build.
I mean, it's where this group home is. There is commercial and residential buildings all around it. It's right in a busy location. So they have to have some sort of way to track. They've tracked her at some
buildings around there, and she left without a cell phone, and she left
perhaps
hopefully had shoes on, and nobody sees her. I mean, that's for 7 days. That's amazing.
Well, nobody reported to her mom.
I don't know if the mom I don't know if the mom was struggling. I don't know what she was struggling with, Sheila. But there had apparently been some struggle in that home.
Mother for 7 days. But the shoe point, Anne, is really interesting because they don't mention her shoes. They only said she was last seen wearing a pink and gray shirt. So that is a really good catch, even right from the get-go here. And so talking about the invisibility aspect of this, I mean, what is your research team? What are some of the common denominators the research team is coming up with in terms of this particular challenge with the missing, murdered, indigenous, we'll call them the juveniles, adolescents at this point?
You should, Tar.
Right, because you want to try to. In this case, you got a pretty long.
Hey, Tar, you should do it. I'll come and help you open it, okay? I may be in Florida all summer, so I can just swing by there and help you. I'll paint. Okay? That work?
Period. That no one reports her. But so what happens to her in the interim in our study, We certainly did have cases. And in fact, we have one that they still haven't found. Well, we have more than one that they still haven't found either the remains or a suspect. So this does happen. There really aren't. The invisibility is a very...
So from what I understand, there was allegedly things happening in her family environment, and there were behavioral concerns. In 2022, when Emily was around 11 or 12 years old, the San Carlos Apache Tribe Social Services Department removed her from her family's home on the reservation, citing instability and behavioral issues that required attention. By 2023, she was placed in the group home operated by Sacred Journey Incorporated, which aimed to provide structure, care, and support for children facing similar challenges. During her time at the group home, Emily had a history of leaving the facility to visit family and friends on the reservation, indicating feelings of homesickness and desired to reconnect with her roots. She reportedly left the home multiple times, but typically returned within hours.
Very interesting and a very appropriate word
to
characterize some of this. They are just not picked up. And on this one, she's only 5'10". She's tiny, really, 115 pounds. So she's not very big. I mean, somebody could actually lift her up, if they were going to get back to Gary's concern about was she abducted, or how does she get from wherever the group home is to the where she's ultimately found her remains.
Gary, dovetail.
Chris, I remember once I was talking somewhere about indigenous people, and I used the word invisible, and somebody who was indigenous told me afterwards that it's a term that's frowned upon, but the preference is to say unseen, because invisible implies that the person in and of him or herself is inherently not of value and is invisible, but the blame should be put on the people who are not noticing them, so that the unseen was the word. So I think, to be sensitive, perhaps I should say she's unseen, and I think it's important. I understood that part really. That thing the person said to me was very important. But I think and the other thing that's important to emphasize is that only 5% of cases involving indigenous people are reported in the media. 95% don't even make it into a paper.
Listen to that.
5%. And that thing the person said to me was very important. But I think and the other thing that's important to emphasize is that only 5% of cases involving indigenous people are reported in the media. 95% don't even make it into a paper. And you know that if a case gets national attention, it becomes a little easier to solve it, because the whole country's got their eyes open. The whole country has its eyes open looking. I mean, think, for example, about a case like Gabby Petito. I mean, you couldn't, open up a newspaper without seeing full-page spreads on Gabby Petito. Now, that's an awful case. My heart goes out to the family, of course. But there are indigenous cases where things happen that are beyond imaginable, and we don't even know. People like Ann and I and you, we hear about them, but the public, isn't that true, Ann? That it's really quite shocking.
Yeah.
Over almost none are reported. 5% are reported in the press. That is unacceptable. Go to NamUs. It is a national missing person, unclaimed remains. Just trigger warning, there is photos of decedents on there that are unclaimed. If you go on that website, overwhelming majority, they are either Native American, they are people of color, they are Hispanic. Majority of people on there. And it just shows you that it's a problem. Yes, exactly, Muscles. Unforgivable.
I certainly would agree with that. I think the longest that, especially on the child, they usually get that reported quite early. And I guess we'd have to look and see if Chris knows this. For that 7 days, was it not reported that there was nothing going on? I think the other thing that works against this young child is that she had done this before. And so the kind of bias is going to be, oh, well, she's done it before.
And that's one thing that I respect Chris McDonough for. He has been really, really working on these people who are underrepresented, specifically with the Native American community. He's done this for many years, but he's talked about it, I know, for the last couple years. He's actually done training to bring awareness to other law enforcement and things of that nature. So,
or she will find her, she'll come back, that kind of thing. And I think that could have been one of the reasons that they don't go right after her, but maybe they did. We don't know. It's just, you're right, that the mother was the only one that said she wasn't notified for 7 days, but hopefully other people were, like the police.
The group home immediately reached out that she was reported.
And this is something that is not only in the United States, in Canada, this is an issue as well. I was watching, I think it's called it's the Fifth Estate, and it's kind of Canada's version of 48 Hours, Dateline, if you will, but they do more like 48 Hours because they do more than just crime. But there is mass graves of Native Americans in Canada that they have discovered. And I recommend you guys watching. It's called The Fifth Estate, and just type in I don't know if you would say Native American there or whatever, but it's on the Fifth Estate channel here on YouTube. Unbelievable.
Right away to Mesa Police Department. That's what this report is. Okay.
Good. Okay.
However, the second piece of that is that 7 days, there's a gap there that the parents and the family are not aware that she's missing. Okay. And so therefore, law enforcement has some search efforts going, but they're considering it almost as if it's a missing person, a missing runaway juvenile. Okay.
Right.
And whereas what the parents' contention was, had they been notified on the res. Now, also one other piece on the victimology here, dad's in custody for an unrelated situation. So he's been in, incarceration. Mom is, reported to be trying her best, to live in the circumstances that they live. Her daughter was having some challenges, so they thought it was best, based on, consultation with counselors and others, to put her into this group therapy home to kind of, level set her mental stability a little bit more. So, but it sounded like she had access, to, some boy and other conversations going on. So I think we need to consider the fact that she could have been opened up to predatory behavior via, the internet, / connection. And like you were talking about,
it's a good question, Chris. Yeah, it's a good question. It's disturbing though, because as I'm listening to you, what becomes clearer and clearer and clearer is that the profound tragedy of this case is that a person who might have been strolling along a highway or whatever with a background like that, an absent father in a group home, probably hasn't had any attachments that are
Richie, Dr. Gary was explaining that it means that that he used the term invisible, like these people are invisible. They're overlooked, they're unseen, they don't get the same treatment. Sheila, hopefully I'll know more tomorrow. There's some scheduling issues, so
stable.
Hopefully I'll get it done this week, if not next week.
Lonely, in need of some love, support, whatever. If somebody came along who smelled that and opened the door of the car and said, I'm a helper, I'm here to help you, I care about you, whatever. You see the awful, what's truly predatory about it, that idea of almost instinctively knowing that this is a lost soul. Come on in, I'm here to help you. And then to do Lord knows what. It just becomes such an ugly thing to envision. But I can't help but think that victimology, that loneliness, that detachment created the vulnerability point that somebody took advantage of one way or another. I mean, wouldn't you say, Anne? That seems to be the doorway that someone used.
Right. And we don't know whether it goes from she gets outside of the group home, she gets hopefully on to like a sidewalk or something like that. Somebody could then with a car pick her up and grab her, and we don't know. I'm thinking of cases that we have had where they have done that they see someone walking alone and they're able to abduct them.
But you say something extremely important, Anne, because if you remember, obviously the work of Ken Lanning, for example, the profile of a person that would snatch a child without a word is totally different than the profile of somebody that would groom them. One requires social skills, the other is probably an oddball local who's more disorganized. And I think that's why that question of did they just open the door and say snatch, or did it take a little cleverness? And that's where I think it's going to be so important when we think about this case tonight, to think about are the signs pointing to an organized person or a disorganized person.
What do you guys think? Do you think this is an organized person or a disorganized person, in your opinion? Just your best guess, if you will. We don't know who it is at this point, but based upon everything that we know, do you feel like this is someone that's organized or not organized? Disorganized, don't know, organized, disorganized. Rooming 2 says organized. Organized, it's not the first time, in my opinion. I'll do a poll on this, and I want to see what you guys say on this, because this is something that's going to be interesting. Organized or disorganized? Is this person organized, disorganized, or not sure? There we go. I'm going to drop that poll and let me know. And then I'm going to do another poll on top of that after this. Pink Warriors is possibly an inside job, in my opinion. The call bothers me. That call a week after. And it seems like that's when police started to get on it, after that call. I mean, can you imagine being a mother and thinking your home, they took Emily out of this home to be in a safer environment. She gets out. She's missing for a week. The home immediately called 30 minutes after she left. The police did not notify the mother for a week. What did the call say again? It doesn't tell us what they say. It just says that there was an anonymous voicemail received on February 2nd, 2025 by the group home where Emily Pike resided. The message claimed that Emily was with her mother on the San Carlos Apache tribal land. However, the voicemail was not retrieved until February 7th. Upon investigation, Emily's mother confirmed she had not seen or heard from Emily and expressed concern over her disappearance. Additionally, prior to Emily's disappearance on January 27th, there were no reports of any unusual or strange cause. The group home manager reported that Emily had left through the bedroom window that evening, and that this was not the first time of her leaving the facility. I think I dropped the poll. Did I not drop the poll? Let's see here. Yeah, the polls dropped. Come on, guys, vote it up. Vote it up. So far, 70% say organized, 24% say disorganized, and 5% say unsure. Yeah, okay. So most of you think, in my opinion, organized. He got the public's attention, and he still has part of the trophy, and they probably are watching. I have a feeling, just a feeling, it was just a call to the home that Emily was staying at, but we have no idea what the message said. And they didn't receive it until a week later, which is whenever they reported to the mother. In my opinion, only it seems like they knew what they were doing, and God knows how long they were watching. I mean, I think this is definitely something that's going to be solved.
Give us an idea of how the child was taken.
It's going to take some.
And that's where I think when we walk through it, Chris will have to say, like, isolating the child, getting rid of evidence and throwing it in a ravine or whatever. I mean, these are things that start to sound a little more organized.
New poll coming.
Wouldn't you say, Ann? I mean, isolating somewhere and all that, but it's tricky. I mean, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, I think the piece of information that'd be really, really important is what did she do on the previous times when she left the group home? In other words, there could be some grooming that went on by somebody who was this boy. Maybe she had met someone. It might not be a boy. It might be an older person. I don't mean, boy, we tend to think of someone her own age. Could well be somebody not. But what did she do? How did she do it? What the park? I think that's very, very important. It's got to be, I think, Chris, you said it's pretty close to the group home. That's probably where she first, unless somebody had taken her somewhere before that she was first there. And you would hope that there was what day of the week? Do we know what day of the week it was? A weekend or during the week?
Monday.
It was Monday.
Yep,
Okay.
It was on a Monday.
But anyway, that's going to be important, is who was there on that Monday. Have they been able to find any witnesses, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah. And just for just a clarity in relationship to what we're talking about here tonight. If you've just joined us, I've got Dr. Ann Burgess and Dr. Gary Baccato with us this evening to talk about Emily Pike.
Speaking of poll, I need to get Remy a stripper pole. I know that's something different, but I need to get her a stripper pole, at least a couple stripper poles, so we can watch her groove.
Pike, we got folks just coming in here. We're almost about 1,600 people here now. So, but that said, also we're aware of some feedback going on. It's we didn't have enough, earbuds. So we're aware of it. We see it in the chat, but just so you guys know, we're working our best on this. Okay, so this Fitch Park, though, in this report, and it says the RP reported.
Little intermission here. Pale Rider. So I've got some ropes now, but I've got them really, really, really low to the ground. Yeah, they're for me. They're for me, Bubbly Beth. That's right. Stripper poles. But I've got them really low to the ground, and I'm getting ready to put some shorts up of her climbing them. Yes, Pink. Yes. You're supposed to keep your daughter off the poles. Listen, Tar, I told her she could be anything she wanted to be when she grew up. And you know what? No judgment here. She wants to work the pole, let her work the pole. No judgment. But it's funny watching her. She's getting she's starting to get the climbing down. Listen, CT, you had a doctor's appointment. We are portable. And did you tell your doctor to subscribe? Did you tell your doctor to subscribe? How you doing, doctor? I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're okay, my dear. Joe, no politics. No politics. No politics, please. Hardware stores sell pipes that you can put a brass fitting over the cheaper than a stripper pole. Also, more variety in diameter sizes. Really witchy. 2 flange fittings. What's a flange? Hey, Flange, how you doing, girl? How you doing? I haven't seen you since 76, Flange. Yes. I crap when I see her flying in the background. Yes. Just get a ceiling fan. No. No. Justin, did you ever get Remy monkey bars? They're coming. They're ordered. Flange are the fingers. That's the phalanges, isn't it? Flange is the piece on the floor and the ceiling that the pipe fits into. Witchy, will you email me? And I just kind of want to know how you know about making your own stripper pole. Just curious. It's a round thing that screws on the floor and ceiling that holds the pole. Well, God, I guess a lot of you guys have made your own stripper poles. How you doing? Okay. Just email me, darling. The flange is also the part of pipes or conduit that bolt together. Oh, honey, let me tell you something. My phalange is bolted. You better believe. You better believe I can lock that stuff, honey. My husband is the process of mine. You have a stripper pole too, Muscles? Yeah, but you can probably do all the tricks and stuff with it. You got like that 6-pack. I'm working with Honey Boo Boo here. We have to stay in shape somehow. I was thinking, I think I remember something like a toilet flange or something like that, but that's the other thing. We don't want to talk about toilets in this community. We've had enough toilets for a while. I have a couple girlfriends who belly dance. Muscles. We're going to be, listen, I can I can already see it. We're going to be in our next members live, and we are going to be sending one another Pinterest version of stripping poles. Muscles, this one will look good for you. This one will look good for Remy. This one would look good for Witchy. This one would look good for Kelsey. This one would look good for Rose, Ori, Sheila, Tina, all that. I'm not sure if you should send me a picture of your phalange. But okay. Cool.
Last time she ran away, she was located near Pitch Park, and this time they checked at that time with negative results. So on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025, approximately 80 to 90 miles away, which, we talked.
So let me show you guys this. I learned something new today. What a phalange is. Now, you ready to see the pole? There, that is a phalange. That is a musty phalange. Guys, note that. Remember that for a merch shirt. Musty flange. Okay, this just went off the rails, but your stripper name is the first street you ever lived on and your first pet. Mine is BB Sugar Creek. You're welcome. BB Sugar Creek. And that name Jasmine was given to me by a little kid who said I looked and reminded him of Princess Jasmine. Bless his heart. Oh, that's so cute. You little huzzy. Really? How do I get mine to rotate and have lights? Wow. Girl, Dirty Diana. Text me, girl. I am dead. Just saying. It's that's very, very interesting. Got a windshield wiper motor from a car. It's 2 poles in one. I do too. Dirty Diana is funny as hell. I will send you pictures. God, y'all were going to send me pictures that I never asked for. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. Y'all are funny. With the motor attachment, of course. How many horsepower? It's got to be at least 20 horsepower. I just realized I said it's IHS. You're fine, Rich. Sounds like I'm a dude. Which one was it? Which one is it? Always jokes that his stripper name is Kumquat. Whatever works, honey. Whatever works. I prefer nuclear power. I need a nuclear physicist, and it needs to be nuclear power. I'm Selman Patty on the pole riding that flange. But then I'm Kitty Litter. The outside pole moves left to right. The one inside is the base. Bubbly Beth, you're all about that bass. No treble? Well, that's interesting. This went south. I think that YouTube name would be fitting. Dance the pole one. Yes. Well,
Talked
interesting.
about. She's discovered by some hikers who were coming off of a hiking trail, and they look over and see some what appears to be contractors' trash bags. And that contractor trash bag, they poke around a little and discover human remains. In that trash bag, her torso and her I'm trying to be sensitive for the family just in case they're listening, but at the same time, for purposes of our work, we have to, unfortunately, put it out there. So her head and her torso is discovered. They do identity through her teeth and positively identify her as Emily Pike. She then dismembered the head.
So, I mean, we do know that there was like damage to, they said, her face, but apparently they were still able to get her dental. Pretty much Jesus and Coffee and Maurice, yeah. Not Jesus, Coffee, and Maurice, but I meant maybe Jesus, Coffee, and True Crime, and Maurice, because y'all both said the same thing. Jesus, Coffee, and Maurice. Oh my God. Yes. Now we're clutch them poles, mother chicken.
Was dismembered from the torso, but it was in the same bag. The hands and the arms are still missing. They've not discovered those yet.
Hey, Lorraine.
What about legs? Were legs attached to the torso?
I don't have that one.
Okay.
They've just reported the torso. And so immediately on the 19th, Mesa PD gets a call saying, hey, and that's this report right here, where they get a call at approximately 8:02 hours. And it's a follow-up stating that something has changed from their Jane Doe, that they found a Jane Doe.
Vote.
And
we're getting ready to end the poll.
Officer ends up contacting BIA, the homicide unit, and talks to the agent in charge, Agent Summers. And he states to...
I am going to screenshot this right here because I like this. I like what Miss Lucy Liu said. No grit, no pearl, no pole, no girl. How you doing?
Mesa, that the remains were found near the Gila County Indian Reservation, which is the San Carlos Apache Reservation. And then north of that is the White Mountain Apache Reservation. So this area is right between both reservations. It's right in between. And so they say that they asked for contact information, and ultimately it is discovered that she is that it is Emily.
She's Apache, right, Chris?
She's Apache, yeah, correct. From the San Carlos Reservation, which is closer to the valley and closer to the home where she left. And the reservation on the other side of that is the White Mountain, which is headed towards an area called Sholo.
Yes.
Which, by the way, that town was named after a card game, Sholo. And that's a true statement.
Like show you.
Yeah. So anyway, he calls on the 28th just to verify, hey, are you sure? And they say yes, for sure, that she's still missing. She's not here. They contact mom. They tell all the I received a voicemail from Lisa that she responded to the Rock Teen Center in Mesa.
I'm aware of.
Where she had also gone in the past. So to your point, Ann, they started to do, this follow-up in relationship to, hey, where was she last seen? Where was she?
I mean, it's more likely than not, statistically, that like down a dark alley said, I don't know why I feel this, like the suspect is known to Emily, in my opinion. With everything I feel that. And statistically, you're right, Carol. Statistically, it's much more likely that you are going, unalived by someone that or have, an acquaintance of some sort. It's a special type of person who just goes and unalives someone just to unalive someone. But it does happen. That's right, Beth. That's exactly right. All right, we're going to end this poll and let's see what this one ends. All right. This one, do you think the suspect did this to Emily? Pike knows her, 45%, stranger, 27%, and 26% says unsure. So it's about more people believe that someone knows this is someone that knows her, but 27% say stranger, and still a little over a quarter of you think that you're still not sure. Oh, Leslie, you got to get that done. Is that a way to say she may not have known him, but he knew her? I mean, look at the Idaho 4 case, Brian Koberger, which we're getting ready to gear up for that case. By the way, I am probably going to go out to Idaho when that is going on, and be out there for a while. Perhaps it's supposed to take place at the end of summer. So, did Brian Koberger know any of the victims? Well, I mean, he's Smiley. He knew who they were, but did they know him? It was more like a fascination, I think, with him. Something that he was jealous of, that he wanted. Something like that, right?
Last heard from, and they had not seen or heard from her since she left the group home. And that at 1500 hours, he reached out to a gal named Lisa, and she said that Emily was still missing and there was no new information on her whereabouts. Now that's the 29th. So that is, building up this case that says, this is her. It's going to be her. They started looking at Facebook posts on the 11th. They start finding that her mom was also now looking for her. And they didn't have any information about the mother at that time. However, ultimately, they do reach the San Carlos Tribal Police, and they make contact with the mother. And this is when she's actually brought into the full circle about her daughter. So this is a sad situation, even at this point, right? I mean, it's a communication problem, but what are they operating under at that point, right? I think their frame of mind from an investigative prospect is They're thinking this is a runaway juvenile.
I'm gonna look
She's
that
done
up
it
right
in the
now,
past.
Joe.
She's
Yeah.
trying to make it up into the reservation, or she's run away
East
with
Mesa
a boy or
Drive.
something to that effect. But it's a much more obviously evil situation here. So out of curiosity, what are you finding are any commonalities in relationship to the kids that are being found deceased?
Well, I can just say in our sample of the young females under 18, what is very unusual is we did not have anyone dismembered. This is very, very different than the cases we saw. Number one. So she certainly encountered someone that.
Listen to this.
And I can think in the males or the suspects or whoever they were able, there was no indigenous killer, if you will. Usually it was on the reservation that something would have happened, but we didn't have a lot of adolescents. Gary, can you think of any without?
No, I think what you're saying is spot on, but I also think that one of the really interesting things is the lack of the frequency of sexual motivations in those killings. And I have to tell you, I don't think I'm going out on too much of a limb in saying that it is almost impossible to believe that Emily was targeted for a reason that did not involve the sexual.
Yep.
And I have to tell you that the behaviors that were exhibited by this offender look a lot more like the behavior of a serial offender, where this was not the person's first rodeo with doing this kind of thing.
That's exactly what we just said, wasn't it? They believe this is almost certainly, in Dr. Gary's opinion, sexual in nature and a serial offender. You know, what other, and obviously this is most definitely a male, right? Males are, it's very, very rare for a female to do something like this. You know, what other reason would a male have to do with a 14-year-old, right? Like, you got to be a cretin to do something like that in the first place.
You remember, Anne, in our studies of dismemberment, mutilation, so forth, that most of it was defensive, that it was done for getting rid of bodies or identifying, although it is very interesting that the head and the teeth are left without that kind of butchery that would be used to eliminate that evidence. But it does suggest somebody that was trying to get rid of somebody to fit them into a bed.
Is there any other, you know, in the area, the vicinity, that has been dismembered like this in recent history, like in the past, say, 5 years?
Bag and dump them and all of that. There definitely seems to be some kind of...
Generally, you know, there's some unalivers do it. They don't really have like a type, if you will, but for a 14-year-old, this definitely sounds like a pedo.
Serial nature. And that's where, you know, this other point keeps rattling around in my head, which is that, Anne, in your own work, in your iconic serial killer work, there's this point that always gets used on the TV shows and everything, right? That when you're profiling, you know, serial killers tend to hone in on their own racial categories in terms of victims. But this question has always bothered me is, I don't think that's true with Native victims.
Yes, JD.
I feel like Native victims get targeted because they tend to be unseen and are easily targeted by offenders.
And that's why a lot of the serial killers in the past, why did they choose prostitutes, right? Because they get in your car willingly. Number one, they live a high risk life. Number two, and number three, they are usually on the fringes of society, meaning they, many of them don't have a home, or they're homeless. They're not reported missing. They're not in contact with, people, their family and that kind of thing. So,
and I think if we were to study it, we'd probably find, my hypothesis is that when there are serial killers that kill them,
let me see if I can
they are
find
usually going to be non-native serial killers that target them because they see them as easy targets. Now,
Right.
would that jive with your own sense of what's probably true?
Well, yes. The other thing I'd want to know is what's the composition in the area around where the group home is. That will also be important, just at primarily one type. For example, this was not the reservation.
any others
right?
in the past 5 years.
She was not on the reservation. It looked like maybe heading towards the reservation. So what is the non-indigenous population there? Are they white? Are they Hispanic, et cetera, et cetera? That seems to be something, it's highly unusual.
Okay, so I'm looking at, in June 2023, the remains of 18-year-old Parker League was discovered burned and dismembered in Tonto National Forest. Anthony Runyard Jr., a former Tucson restaurant owner, was indicted. Okay, that one's June 2023, Phoenix, Maryville area. The dismembered body of a man was found after a resident reported foul odor. Court documents revealed that the victim's body parts were stored in plastic and garbage bags before being disposed of. September 2021, the Gila County, I said that wrong, Sheriff's Office investigated the unaliving of 31-year-old Leo Harry White from White River. He was found pew-pewed multiple times in his car parked on U.S. Highway 60 near milepost 277, which is exactly where Emily was found. But his, he was found in his car. Is it just a coincidence that this happened at the same mile marker? Seems like they're not related.
This would be a indigenous
Still weird.
on indigenous. It's so brutal. It just doesn't make sense. We haven't seen anything like that. We'd have to look and see. But it sounds like it's going to be a non-indigenous person. Or the other important thing is, and again, I'm trying to be sensitive for your audience, Chris, but was the dismemberment done? What type of instrument would be used? Was it like a knife? Was it a machete? I mean, machetes are going to be much more characteristic for gangs. In cases, you could say maybe this was a gang initiation where they do have to go out and kill someone. The MS-13s are noted for that. But is there any gang activity in that area? That would be another question the police should easily be able to answer. So,
Vet Girl, who's one of our mods here, she was in Chris McDonough's room, and she says this person has a specific skill trait, difficult to do and probably not his first. Seems like he wanted to leave a message when he left, where he did not intact. Prayers for a family. Thank you. And is there a lot of gangs in that area? Probably. Most probably. That's what I'm thinking, Tar. I wonder if her mom owed money or had bad dealings with someone. We just don't know. We don't know. But it seems like wherever Emily was, she was, in my opinion, taken to some place before she was unalived. She may have been kept alive quite some time. I was on the phone with my son in Georgia. There's an autistic little boy missing. Keep him in your prayers. Oh, Marianne. Did he just go missing today? I don't. That's bad. I am going to come back here in just a little bit. I'll be live again. How many? We got 21, 2, 3. We need 2 more memberships to reach our goal, and we'll do a members only live tonight if anybody wants to do them. That's what I was thinking, maybe a message to her family. Oh gosh, I hope not. I really hope not. Yes, absolute gangs and cult stuff on the Carlos Apache is near the border, but I don't know gang activity on reservation because of drug trafficking. Bring it across border MS. Use jurisdiction. How far is... Oh, I want to show you this. Texted you a new video earlier today, Justin. Found mostly new kid baby on the cold. Can you text that again? Witchy, let me show you where she was last seen. Right here. Right here. In this area is where she was last seen. And look, I mean, this is like, it's a busy strip, right? There's a lot of things going on right here. A lot of things going on. Oh, you're fine. Jesus Coffee. Thank you, honey. I really still think there could be a serial unalived targeting Native American victims, because I remember there was a bizarre number of Native girls and young women disappearing a while back. 95% are not reported. Hey, Magic Star, good to see ya. So yeah, I mean, this is right here, and I don't know if she was last seen at this gas station or these. Do they have cameras? Is there cameras on these? It's got to be cameras. They may be cameras like on one of these pumps, or these, what these gas stations are, or something. There's got to be a camera somewhere if she was seen. There's a car wash right there. Another gas station. I mean, this is definitely a busy area. Definitely a busy area for sure. Oh, Sheila, honey, you're fine, honey. I think this was trafficking or gang. I don't think this was trafficking or gang related. I don't either. I think this is someone who was definitely, at the end of the day, I think this is either someone who was a lone person or someone that has a family maybe kind of like the Long Island serial killer, right? Kind of like the Long Island serial killer. Oh, thank you, Angel of Light. Thank you, love. We crossed it. Yay! Okay. Thank you so much. If you received one of those memberships, give our Angel of Light, shine some light on her, and give her a big, big thank you. I think it was a lone sicko. CT says Angel of Light. Thank you. Yeah. I wish you're fine, Leslie, honey. Thank you so much. We love you, angels. You little cutie patootie. Thank you so much. We're gonna stay on this. I look forward to something breaking in this case really soon. I do. I think something is going to break on this case pretty soon. Very, very soon. They should have cameras everywhere. It looks like a bit. Yeah. I mean, three lanes each way. So yeah, they should definitely have that. All right, guys. I don't have the next live planned, but I will be live again. We'll be talking about some stuff. It's above the red lights. I didn't see him though. Oh, is this it? This little thing right here? Is that it? Is that the little camera? Let's see. I didn't know if that was like a piece of the pole or was it like a motion sensor? I wasn't sure. I was in Virginia the other day and I saw the Google car. I was like, I hope I'm on it. Pose. Looks like it might be one. Thank you, Fuzzball Factory. Really do appreciate you. No, that's on top of the actual on top of the actual pole. Hold on. Hey Vic, good to see you. I don't understand what you mean. The actual pole. Where? Is that it or is that a flange? Is that a flange? Oh, here we go. There we go. We got it. We got it. There we go. We got it, mother chickens. How you doing? How you doing? Survey says we got it. We got it. Here we go. Let's see here.
Better late than Blanche. Pregnant.
Better late than pregnant. How about that, mother chickens? How you doing? There we go. Andale. Here we go.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Amen. Amen. The church said amen. How you doing? Yes. Thank you all so much for joining me. Really, really do appreciate you. This case is a really, really horrible case. And Emily deserves justice. A lot of people deserve justice, right? Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you so much. And Panda, if you don't come in the next live tonight, we are praying for you, dear, for your procedure tomorrow, honey. All right, guys. I love you all. I'll see you guys here in a little bit. it'll be a pop-up live, so be expecting that. Much love. You've seen one phalange, you've seen them all. EMF. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but not all phalanges are created equal. We'll just say that. All right, guys. Love you all. Much love. I'll be back, JD says. Thank you, JD. All right, guys. Much love. Bye-bye.